Good good morning, everyone. I wanted to pop on here and just share. Good morning, everyone. I'm not sure if this is working right. Um, I wanted to pop on here and just share some insight that God gave me and just the power of His Word. And it's going to be in three parts just because it'd be too long to do it all in one session. And just how trustworthy our God is to give you what you need in your time of need. And we March 29th, Sunday, I woke up, and as many of you know, grieving the loss of my husband. I've got my Kelly Strong hat on this morning and my Jesus Fix It shirt, because sometimes that's all you can say is, Jesus, fix it. And it was just a wave of sadness that was coming, which I know that's what happens in grief. And so I try not to stuff it, and I just kind of embrace it, and was just talking with the Lord going, this is so hard, God, living without my husband. I miss him, being in this, pandemic, and grief. And we're all grieving something during this. We all are experiencing losses. And I've said it before, is like a lot of us came into this pandemic overwhelmed, walking through hard things, and this pandemic has just magnified those things. And as I sat there in bed, just going, oh, Lord, where are you? Help me. He said, get up. I've got something for you in my word. And I went to my Bible reading plan, and I knew the second I read the first scripture, it was Judges 6. And it was also Psalms 52 and 1 Corinthians 14. But the significance of Judges 6, and I thought, God, only you could orchestrate all these details, was the first time I met Judges chapter 6, which is the story of Gideon, was in 2008, the first time Ron was diagnosed with cancer. We were overwhelmed, not sure what that meant. And the Lord woke me up at 2 o'clock and said, I've got something in your word. And that's where I was introduced to Gideon and this incredible story of God calling out what he sees in you when you don't feel like a warrior. And so through the years, I've related to Gideon. I've understood Gideon. I feel like Gideon. And the fact that God would choose and orchestrate that passage. So as I sat down, just a little bit of the history of what's going on for Judges chapter 6, and that's what I'll talk about this morning, is during this time, the enemy was coming after God's people. The Amalekites, the Midianites, they were coming after so much so that they were hiding in caves and not fulfilling their calling, not fulfilling their purpose. And Gideon was the least of these, from the least of the clan, the least likely. And so in the middle of this attack, the angel of the Lord comes to Gideon, and he says, the angel of the Lord appears to him and says, mighty warrior, the Lord is with you. Well, Gideon feels nothing but a mighty warrior. And he's telling us that today. You might be in a situation where you don't feel mighty. You feel like you don't have strength. But God is saying, I'm calling you that because I know what's in you because of who is in you. And in verse 13, it says, so Gideon replies to this. He doesn't go, oh yeah, I'm a mighty warrior. He starts questioning God. Is anybody questioning God right now? Sir, he is respectful. Sir, Gideon replied, if the Lord is with us, why has all this happened to us? And where are all the miracles our ancestors told us about? Didn't they say the Lord brought us up out of Egypt? But now the Lord has abandoned us and handed us over to the Midianites. So is anybody asking that question? If the Lord is with us, why has he allowed this to happen? Does anybody feel abandoned by the Lord? Well, he has not abandoned us. He's in the middle of this. And a lot of times he will use, I'm not saying he caused it, I'm saying he will use tough situations and suffering to bring out what he knows is in us. And he's already called it out in him. And then what I love in this next verse is what he told me in 2008 and what stood out to me on Sunday, March 29th, and stood out and ministered through last week was just this really tough wave of sadness. And this phrase, after Gideon tells that to the Lord comes back to him and says, Then the Lord turned to him and said, go in the strength you have. He doesn't give an explanation. He doesn't say, I'm going to stop this. He says, go in the strength you have. And I knew what that meant because I've had this history with the Lord. So it's 2008. I go in the strength I have. And if that is just a mustard seed, well, guess what? The Lord can come in and swoop that up. But our command, our obedience is to go, to decide. And maybe it's just putting your feet on the floor. Maybe it's standing up. Maybe it's taking a shower today. Maybe it's whatever that is. Go in the strength you have, because the Lord is going to come in and give you what you need. And he says, go in the strength you have. And then he gives them a mission. Rescue Israel. Are you kidding me? Rescue Israel. Am I not sending you? So today the Lord is telling us, go in the strength you have. You don't have to have it all together. And if it's a hard day, it's okay, because the Lord's going to swoop in. But take that step. And what is he asking you to do? Maybe it's not rescuing the country, but maybe it's rescuing your child. Maybe it's rescuing a neighbor. Whatever that is, go and do that, and knowing the Lord will give you what you need. And it's just that act of obedience. And because he says, am I not sending you? And the Lord is sending each one of us, even in the middle of a pandemic. We can do something. We can bless someone. We can do things that God called us to do. So today, I just wanted to share that. And again, the other passages was Psalm 52. So I'll come back tomorrow and share some insight in how these three passages were so profound in my personal life, but I think will be profound in each one of us as we're walking through such uncertain times. The Lord is not uncertain. He is not shaken. He is on his throne and he is working things out. And our job is just to rest in him. And maybe what you need to do today is surrender and choose faith. Maybe you need to surrender whatever that is, your control, and let God do what he can only do. And so today and from now on, just go in the strength you have and know that God will make that up. And maybe choose today to do that. Go in the strength we have. What is it you have for me to do, God, even in the middle of this pandemic, because you are sending us? And just know, when he's sending us, we have the forces of heaven behind us. And so there are things that we can do today. But I just wanted to encourage you. It's encouraged me. And it's funny because on the 29th, I was like, because I'm a teacher, I'm like, oh, I'm going to do Facebook Live. And he just held it. He just held it. And I was like, okay. And this morning, he's like, I want you to release it. And you're going to do a 3-part series. So come back tomorrow. I'll share my insight in Psalm 52. And then on Sunday, we'll do 1 Corinthians 14. So I hope this blessed you, and I hope you have a great day. Thanks.